All right. So, quite a bit to get through. All trans issues. So, this video is going to start with volleyball players sue their coach for accepting a trans teammate. And now you would think it would be because of how many teams have forfeited against them because there's a trans woman, or because they're worried about fair play or whatever. No, that's not what this is about. It's about stifling free speech. I swear, how in the world did we go from government is the only one that this is concerning to basically anybody who has a view that draws consequences is suddenly being denied free speech? It's just mind-boggling. I've seen intelligent people not get this. Anyway, let's get right into the article. The players on San Jose State University's women's volleyball team are now suing their team's head coach, university, and Mountain West Conference officials for allowing a transgender woman to play on their team. Okay. 5 teams have recently tried to forfeit their matches with the team because of the trans player. Tried? I thought they did. Okay. Brooke Slusser, the team captain and head douchebag, is leading the suit along with 2 other former players on the SJSU team and 4 athletes from other universities. Okay, so she's literally the only one standing. Cool. Well, maybe if those 4 athletes would have played against her, but anyway. They allege that their Title IX and First Amendment rights were violated due to allowing a trans woman to play on their college team. Okay, now, I get the Title IX thing. That's a sticky, thorny issue, because when it was passed, it kind of assumed that women were female. So, I get that. I get why that's kind of murky. But First Amendment rights? Are you kidding me? What is this that violates your First Amendment rights? I swear, no wonder Trump won. People don't know the basics of anything. The suit is backed by the Independent Council on Women's Sports. The plaintiff's lawyer, Bill Bach, said the NCAA, Mountain West Conference, and college athletic directors around the country are failing women because the administrators don't have the courage to do their jobs. We have to ask the federal courts to do their jobs for them. Again, there are safeguards in place for, people not having too much of a certain hormone, or, not all trans women went through male puberty. But no, let's not deal with nuance. Let's just assume that they went through male puberty, because we all know that trans women are just men in a dress. If that were the case, who was it who, I have to look up his name. If I can think of the... Harry Styles. Such a hard name to remember. So, Harry, if that was all it took, then Harry Styles became a trans woman when he did a photo shoot in dresses. I mean, there is seriously more to being trans than that. A Mountain West spokesperson told the right-leaning sports site Outkick, because of course they did. The Mountain West Conference prioritizes the best interest of our student athletes and takes great care to adhere to the NCAA and Mountain West policies. While we are unable to comment on the pending litigation of this particular situation, we take seriously all concerns of student athlete welfare and fairness. Now, why I assume that Outkick asked for a statement, because otherwise why would they go to them? But okay. The players oppose the transgender inclusion policy at the university, claiming it stifles free speech rights of women's athletes. Again, that is not what free speech means. Free speech doesn't mean that that you only get to play with people you want to play with. That is not what free speech means. I'm not quite sure where you think free speech falls into this. The lawsuit demands an injunction be placed on the trans-inclusive policies before a November 27th tournament and demands that either SJSU as a whole be disqualified or the player in question be disqualified, citing safety risks. It also asks for the losses of teams who forfeited to be removed. Okay, so they did actually forfeit. Now, I really wish that they would give more information about the trans woman in question. And I hate that I have to say this, but, like I said, it's entirely different if she never went through male puberty, or because there are studies that suggest that there are some permanent effects to male puberty, even if they then go through bottom surgery and, of course, go on cross-sex hormones. But, so I really don't know what the situation is. And so I don't know whether to have some sympathy for these people or to have none at all. The transgender player in question has not come forward to the press, and contrary to claims that the player poses safety risks, there's no evidence that anyone has been injured as a result of her playing on the sports team. Even though there was a video going around, or at least claims that there was a video going around of someone who got a concussion from this player because she hit so hard, which, number one, didn't happen. She was hit in the arm. Actually, it might have been the shoulder, not the head. And number two, you could literally get a concussion from some of those players, some of those cis women players who will spike the ball at you because they hit just that damn hard. So even if there was evidence that she hurt them, it's not because she's trans. Schools that chose to forfeit against San Jose State for allegedly having a trans female player include Southern Utah University, Boise State University, Utah State University, and Wyoming University. The player in question has been playing for 3 seasons now without issues with her participation. Interesting how suddenly people have a problem now that Donald Trump made such a big deal about trans people and making them out to be so scary. Yeah, if they really cared, really were worried about a trans woman participating, they would have done it before now. All right. She has been compliant with the NCAA requirements for testosterone levels throughout this entire period and has never violated the requirements. Okay, so now we're getting more information than we had before. So there's no reason for this hubbubaloo except for the fact that Donald Trump has made trans people to be super scary. Well, not just Trump, but the right wing has made the latest scapegoat trans people. And trans women in specifically, because I don't think these dinglings even are aware that trans men exist. But it just says a lot about how they view men. And considering these same schmucks are now happily screaming, "Your body, my choice," that tells you all you need to know about what they think, because they think that this is how men should be, that they assume that all people who are born with a penis think the same way they do, when not the case. So they need to protect women from something that they don't need to be protected from. No, we need to be protected from the jackasses who scream, "Your body, my choice." Those are the people we need protection from, not trans women. All right. There is no evidence of discrimination against cisgender female athletes due to her participation. Todd Kress, coach of the San Jose State University team, said that his team has dealt with hate mail as a result of the publicity over the teammate. Some of it, to be honest, is disgusting. I'm more worried about our student athletes and what they receive and how that's impacting their mental health, Kress told local media. There have been outside forces who have sought to divide our team, our university, our conference, and our sport, Kress added. I know it's been weighing on the players in our locker room who have put in years of hard work. We have an incredible group of young women who are trying to put the controversy aside. I just have faith that we'll eventually be able to put the outside noise aside and be able to play for each other and find love for one another again. I really wonder. Now, I assume that because this woman is a captain who's one of the people who brought the suit, she's also got to be a senior, just like this trans woman. So she came in at the same time as this trans woman. Probably knew the entire time she was trans, because it sounds like this was not a secret that she just discovered. Or who knows, maybe she honestly had no clue, because, she just had no reason to know. But I'm going to say that she's just taking advantage of the political climate to bring this suit, because, again, this girl must be a senior by now. So she's about to graduate. Why are you freaking bringing the suit now? I mean, this makes zero sense, but this whole thing doesn't make any sense. Like they mentioned, there are safeguards. You have levels that you have to meet of testosterone. And given what little I know about biology, if she is no longer producing testosterone, because if she had bottom surgery, which I don't know if she did, but there's a good chance that she has. It's also a good chance she hasn't. Like I said, I do not know, but she meets the testosterone requirements. So she's within the levels. Now, if she were to have had bottom surgery, she would be producing zero testosterone. Because again, I know that cis women do have some testosterone in their bodies, but I honestly don't know biology, physiology well enough to know where it is we get our testosterone from. Men, it's obvious. They get it from their testes. No testes, no testosterone. So, either because of hormone replacement therapy, she is able to keep testosterone naturally down. I don't know if that's a thing. I'm just spitballing here. Or she's had her testes removed, in which case she's not creating any testosterone. Either way, she's within the levels. So I failed to see the problem. The only sticky point are the studies that claim that there are permanent um that there are permanent effects to going through male puberty. And I honestly don't know either way. I'm not a scientist. I really can't say, but there are studies out there. Those studies are cited by the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. So maybe there's something to it. Now, that would be something to be concerned about, and something that I guess you would have to test for. But like I said, there are plenty of cis women who could give you a concussion if they struck you in the head with a volleyball. So I'm not so sure if that is valid. I really don't know. I don't know how many studies have been done that verified that. So, but the fact that this hasn't been brought up until this year, when so much was being made about trans women and how scary they are because they're just men in dresses who are trying to trick girls so they can attack them, which no. So yeah, I'm dubious as to whether this was brought up in good faith. Now, I would love to know if this girl had gone through male puberty, because if she had never gone through male puberty, then this lawsuit is more ridiculous than on first blush. So yeah, I'm calling BS on this lawsuit. If for, like I said, if for no other reason, the timing. Because you had 4 years to have an absolute freak out. And this is the first year we've heard of people forfeiting, of teams forfeiting, of players on the team and previous players having an absolute freak out that they played with a trans woman. Now, I get the Title IX thing. Like I said, that's messy. But I still do not see where this says anything about the First Amendment. What is it in this lawsuit that claims that your First Amendment, give us an example. What is it about the First Amendment that you think this violates? It's like the First Amendment is a buzzword, and people are like, well, let's just say First Amendment because it'll sound good. Or something. I really don't know why they go up on the First Amendment on this. Because I don't see any. Again, there are. If this was in good faith, they would have a good. They might have a case, but this is obviously not in good faith. Because if it were, they would have had a problem 4 years ago. But they didn't. And I'm not just talking about bringing this lawsuit. I mean, that could have been in the works for a while. But the fact that we didn't hear about this until this year. Teams didn't forfeit. The current captain didn't come out and say anything. So, yeah, I totally call BS on this whole thing. I would take it seriously if this was from the get-go, but it's not. So, whatever valid points that they had, is completely trumped by this bad faith of bringing it up when trans people are being shit on, and Donald Trump just made a big deal about trans issues. So anyway, that is all I have for this video, and don't worry, I have more articles coming about, mostly about trans people and how people are using this current environment to crap on them. So anyway, with that, I will see you guys in the next video.